Another issue where I don't agree with the president on is this issue of authorization for the utilization of military force dealing with ISIS. And on that issue, let me be very brief and very clear. I think we all know who ISIS is, and we know the horrors that they have brought about in their region and against foreigners, including a number of Americans, and their atrocities are literally unspeakable. And they have to be defeated. But I must tell you that when you look back at the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, wars which were supposed to be short, were supposed to not cost us many casualties, not be terribly expensive, what we learn when we think back is those wars have cost us close to 7,000 brave men and women who lost their lives, cost us hundreds of thousands of men and women in the armed forces who came home with PTSD and TBI, and will end up costing us between $3 and $6 trillion, thousands of dollars for every family in America. And and what I worry about is when the president brings forth a resolution, and the key section of the resolution, Tom, is the following. This is Section 2C, limitations. The authority granted in subsection A does not authorize the use of the United States Armed Forces in enduring offensive ground combat operations. Enduring offensive ground combat operations. Well, you tell me what you think about that, Tom.
It sounds like pretty vague language.
It's pretty much of an open door.
Yeah.
I mean, what is enduring offensive ground operations? Is enduring 10 years, 50 years, 500 years? What is it?
Right.
And here's the concern that I have. There are some people in the Congress who really don't stay up nights worrying about health care. They don't worry about the collapsing middle class. They don't worry about the high cost of college education. They don't worry about poverty. They're really into war. And there are a lot of these guys whose emphasis is, into war. And I am very nervous about the United States getting involved in what appears to me almost a never-ending war in the Middle East. And you can get sucked into it, and you can stay. I mean, we've been there for 12, 13 years. You can stay there for another 20 years. And here's the other point that worries me, and that bothers me. The countries in the region, the countries most impacted by ISIS, in fact, the governments that ISIS wants to destroy, are Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Jordan, and all of these countries are run by very wealthy, multi-billionaire families. In fact, it's interesting. We just learned the other day. This is really interesting. Saudi Arabia has now the third largest defense budget in the world. How's that?
Wow. Behind what, us and Russia or us and China? Or?
Not sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But it's ahead of the UK and ahead of France.
Wow.
Now, don't you think that maybe that with the third largest military budget, they can get their hands dirty, get their troops into the field, start using their Air Force, and play a vigorous role? We should be supportive, but we should not be leading that effort, in my